Greetings and welcome to the second episode of the Oblivion Mod of the month. This time around we're going to be taking a look at the best mods of December 2017. And yes, this is a bit of a leap from last time. Our first episode from way back in July was on the best mods of June 2017. So what happened? Well, I guess the series just, fell apart a bit. We had pretty much no one participate in our online polls to decide the best mods of July. And with real life and other video projects, well, we just sort of fell behind. So consider this a reboot of the series. And anyway, much like with our Morrowind Mod of the Month videos, we'll be aiming to take a look at the 3 best mods released for Oblivion each month with this video series. And at least for the next few episodes, this will be largely based on my own personal preference. Once we get a few episodes finished and catch up all the way to March, we'll switch over to doing a popular vote to decide the mods of the month. But until then, we've got some pretty fantastic mods lined up for you here today. December was a pretty active month overall, with maybe 70 new mods released for Oblivion, including graphic replaces, house mods, and even some epic quest mods. And we'll be taking a look at some of the best of those here today. And as always, you can find down the links for each mod showcase down in the video description below. So let's go ahead and get started with our mod of the month for December 2017, Archfiend by DemonLord7654. And as far as I know, this was the largest mod to be released in December, an epic quest and dungeon romp spanning several hours of gameplay, new locations, companions, and quests spanning pretty much all of Cyrodiil. And without question, this is a massive mod, and it really seems like DemonLord has been making progressively larger and larger mods like this. I mean, just consider the Forgotten Dungeon, one of our picks for the best mods of 2016, was already pretty big, but Archfiend here is arguably considerably larger. And it all starts out when you visit and sleep for the night at the Tavern in Coral, where you'll suddenly find yourself dreaming of a nightmarish realm of floating ruins, a hellish sky, and the decaying remains of countless corpses. This is the dramatic and epic opening for Archfiend, and here you'll find a ghost or some sort of spirit to explain your quest. An ancient evil is about to be unleashed across Tamriel, and through your dreams you can see both the past and the future. The only hope to stop this coming disaster is to ally yourself with others and put an end to the coming corruption. And yes, I know that all sounds a bit vague, but rest assured there's plenty of dialogue here, and story enough for those seeking it. And speaking of dialogue, once your vision of this hellish realm comes to an end, you'll find yourself teleported to a graveyard in the middle of the Great Forest, where you'll immediately encounter a stranger who has apparently shared a similar vision to yourself, and has been directed to the same graveyard here. And again, there's just, quite a bit of dialogue here, and each of the companions and allies you'll meet on your travels with this mod will come with fairly detailed backgrounds and stories for you to read through. And in any event, your quest truly begins once you've gained entrance into a nearby crypt, a dark and ruinous place apparently once home to a group of knights of the divine Stindar, but which has since been forgotten to time, until now anyway. And here you'll meet another companion who arrived here just slightly before you did, and she's had a similar vision. And together, the 3 of you will fight alongside one another during the course of this epic quest line. And yes, for most of at least the early stages of Archfiend, you'll have at least one companion by your side at almost all times. Now, sort of skipping ahead, we're going to take a look at some of the first major new areas you'll get to explore and fight through with Archfiend. But we'll mostly be focusing on the early portions of this epic questing adventure, so as to avoid spoilers and all that. And as you might expect from the author who brought you the Forgotten Dungeon, there is of course quite a few dungeons included here. Some of them fairly small, others massive labyrinths that you'll have to find your way through. And all of them are particularly dark and sinister places tucked away in hidden locations where the world has, seemingly forgotten about them. And deep dark things stir in the shadows. And needless to say, these are atmospheric and challenging dungeon romps, not level based on your character, but instead having powerful enemies no matter really when you start the mod. Archfiend is really a quest and a dungeon romp that's meant for higher level characters, and I'd really only recommend for maybe levels 20 plus or so. And lower level characters will almost certainly get slotted in some of these dungeons here, even with your companions by your side and a few Midas magic spells to keep you company. But anyway, throughout your adventure, as you progress along the questline here, you'll constantly receive dreams or visions, always of this, sort of a nightmarish realm, sometimes inhabited by foul undead and necromancers, other times less so. But here, you'll be utterly alone, and you'll have to traverse carefully, lest you fall to your death, or get slaughtered by the occasional foes in these dream realms. And eventually, you'll be sent to new and somewhat epic-looking locations out in the lands of Cyrodiil, such as forgotten fortresses and castles, left in ruins from some long ago ancient siege, which perhaps did not go so well for the defenders. and really some of these locations are quite scenic. And again, this is just a really massive mod, and we're just, barely scratching the surface here with the showcase. There's a lot to see, do, and fight through in Archfiend, far more than is really practical to show off in a short video like this. So suffice to say, you're really just going to have to play it for yourself to see all the little dark secrets it includes. And I do certainly recommend it. Epic and big quest mods like this don't come around every day, and with so much dungeon delving and storytelling, there's something here for everyone. And all this makes it our mod of the month for December 2017, and you should really check it out for yourself. For our second pick for the mod of the month, we have Retextured Road Signs by Monkey Angie, and this is a high-resolution texture and model replacer for the various road and city signs of Cyrodiil, giving them a beautiful new look. And it should be noted that this mod is really intended to be used with a reworked post, also by Monkey Angie, which adds the various small towns to the road signs here. But for the purpose of the showcase, we'll be just focusing on this replacer by itself. But anyway, with that out of the way, these are just some, really nice looking replacers for the various city road signs, and we're just going to sort of take a look at a few different, little crossroad intersections here to give you an idea of how they look. Though, truth be told, the screenshots on the mod download page are probably, just a bit more informative. But in any event, this replacer comes with about 3 different versions. Technically, maybe 4 actually, now that I think about it. Including a plain replacer, an ornamental replacer, which is what we're taking a look at here, and a glowing replacer that gives the city names a white glow, so they're, easier to read and all that, as well as a glow version without ornaments. So there's quite a bit of variety to choose from here, depending on your personal taste. And speaking of the ornament version, you'll notice that there's, little symbols carved into the posts here, alongside the city names, such as feathers for Bruma, or antlers for Breville, or so on and so forth, and these are, really quite nice ornamentations. I personally quite like them myself, but if they're not to your taste, there's again an option without them. All in all though, this is just a really scenic and beautiful little replacer for the road sign to Cyrodiil, and that's what, really makes this our second pick for the mod of the month for December 2017. And finally, our third pick for the mod of the month is Real Homes by Irvin. And this is, in essence, a pack of immersive and lore-friendly house mods designed to blend into the vanilla game world. Not only that, but many of them are in fact rewards for completing vanilla quests, or can only be purchased after completing a particular quest chain, and each are designed to reflect the difficulty it takes to, acquire them. So there's no giant lavish mansions here. One example is, after helping the villagers of some small town somewhere, you might get a small shack overlooking the Imperial City for free, but at the end of the day, it's still just a shack, small, run down, and obviously decaying, but it's yours to call home, and there is, a bedroll here, as well as a little bit of storage, so it's not all bad. Other homes can be acquired for free as well, and that's free in quotation marks because, they're actually already inhabited by bandits or pirates, as you can, sort of see here. And you'll need to fight and kill them all in order to, claim them. This includes, obviously, the ship-based home that we're taking a look at here, which can be found along the Nibbin in a perhaps fairly heavy mod conflict location. There's a lot of other mods in a very similar spot to this. But anyway, real quick, we're just going to take a look inside the ship-based home. And yes, you will need to fight through most of the ship here. There's a few pirates that might take issue with you just moving in and all. But anyway, there's an upper-level master bedroom, the captain's cabin of course, which is largely pre-decorated already. And down below decks, you'll find a mixed dining area and training room, with storage along the side walls here, and a couple of guest bedrooms that previously belonged to pirates, but which can now be used to store companions or NPC servants if you have any. And interestingly enough, there's even an alchemical equipment area with an ingredient sorter and a set of ingredient containers for you to use. And now this mod contains about 6 different houses in a wide array of different locations across Cyrodiil. But for the purpose of this video, we're only going to be taking a look at 3 here, and the final one that we're going to be taking a look at is Mandrake Hall, which you can only get after completing the Hacked Dirt questline, and buying the deed and key from the Argonian lady in Coral, which will cost you a smooth 25,000 gold, a fairly steep price to be sure. But moving on, you can see this home here just west outside of Coral. It's a nice looking, sort of middle class abode, perched on top of a hill, and this is by far the largest home you can find in this collection. I must say it is, rather scenic in a rustic sort of sense, blending in fairly well with the surrounding wilderness, and including a small front garden and a small farm in back, with numerous sheep just grazing about. And there's even a little mushroom garden here, perfectly ideal for an alchemist to take advantage of. And real quick, you can see this house on the map here, and it's perhaps a little bit close to, a major mod conflict area. There's a lot of house mods over in this part of Cyrodiil, but it still has a nice short commute to Coral. And anyway, heading on inside, Mandrake Hall is a cozy and well-finished home to, just call your own, with a warmly lit dining room, including a fireplace and an alchemy lab, which again has scripted ingredient sorting and, storage and all that. And upstairs, you'll find 2 bedrooms, one for yourself and one for a companion, if you, have any, as well as a number of display cases to show off various bits of loot, and a small library with a number of books already lining the shelves here. And anyway, Real Homes is just a really nice little collection of just immersive, lore-friendly, and balanced homes for you to gradually earn as you make your way through, just playing the game. And given the sheer variety here, this is more than worthy of a mention as our 3rd and final pick for the Mod of the Month for December 2017. And in any event, that pretty much wraps up this episode of the Oblivion Mod of the Month. And ideally, we'll be making this a regular series from now on, and we should be back in about 2 weeks with the best mods of January. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.